Geshe medo zhang rira dingxi ninde genbandi sanje shindo mingde viwayi toge namda shingla jubar sho yidama guru ratna mende neya dayami. I go for refuge until enlightenment to the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Wisdom. By the merit of the teaching to the Dharma, may I achieve Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. Sangye Chödang Soge Chonam La Chancho Bado Dani Gyas Agi Chöshe Gibe Tsonam Dola Penjir Sangye Drupa Sho Sangye Chödang Soge Nam La Chancho Bado Dani Gyapsu Dagi Chöshe Gibe Tsonam Dola Penjir Sangye Drupa Sho. Okay, so I think when we decide refuge in bodhicitta, just always try to correct your motivation with that line. Therefore, what you need to do is, as well as deciding each line, and you really go a little bit deep and think. So first we take refuge with Buddha Dhamma Sangha, right? And then most important part is the second two line, which is bodhicitta. Say, whatever I'm studying here, whatever I'm teaching here, that let me achieve Buddhahood. That virtue, what I accumulated, that learning, what I did it. So for, let me achieve Buddhahood for the sake of all other beings. Or let me achieve Buddhahood to all other beings that achieve the Buddhahood. So that every single time, whenever we decide that line, either we are doing with the prayer, general regular prayer, right? General prayer. Also you think, and then teaching time, also you think. This is the reason why we decided. Just deciding, not big benefit, right? There are nothing, I can say there are no benefit there. Just deciding there are no benefit. Then why were you reciting the thing that you will feel that changing or some kind of effect here, that and then future their long terms will be brings you enlightenment. You're collecting the seed for enlightenment, right? So, and then each time, as well you think it, they'll help you to collect the seed for achieving enlightenment, or it's turned into that. Whatever you are doing action, whatever activities you do, is turned into the cause of Buddha, becoming Buddha. It is very much depend on your motivations. Therefore, as well as set up motivation that way, then all this in 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever we study it, that train into the path. First, number one is train into the Mahayana path, and also becoming seed or cause for becoming Buddha, right? The Buddha's body, Buddha's mind. So this is the important part that you always. And additionally here, when say, may I achieve, first two line has an I. Say, I take refuge. And second two lines also has an I, may I achieve Buddha, right? Whenever you are saying the I, at the same time, selflessness, understand that selflessness. People do. The serious practitioner who has great, what called training hours, not just they generate bodhicitta, they are generating bodhicitta with understanding emptiness, with understanding selflessness. So therefore say, I go for refuge. When say I, immediate you think I, which is merely label, I, which is lack of independent exits. So that I taking refuge to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, right? So, and then say, may I achieve an I who, which is lack of independent, it's just merely labeling, that's I, to taking, like a wishing to achieve Buddhahood for sake of other beings. That's, it could be goes go together, conventional truth and ultimate truth, right? Therefore, this line is very powerful. So sometimes we said, okay, all Buddhist teaching is included in this four line. There are many. Sometimes we do have a say, okay, never do negative actions, always collect the virtues, reduce your mind. This is the Buddha Dhamma, some line there, right? So this is also one of the big continuers. All this Tantra teaching, Sutra teaching, Mahayana or like a Theravada teaching, every teaching is included in this four line, as well as this is refuge in bodhicitta is all Mahayana teachings is included there, even Tantra and Sutra, all these teachings included there. So therefore, it is very powerful line. So therefore, also it's depend on how you know about this each line, how much read the commentary of this each line, So whenever Rinpoche give teaching, the way beginning, always he explained that four line as order to correcting into motivations. He always explained it. And then also depend on how much you read the different commentary of this line. That help you to think at the moment, right? If you not read it or you forget it, then it's difficult to help it. Okay, this is the, and then when our lamas are, whenever they give like a, not the regular teaching, when we study in monastery, when they teach philosophy, they not do that, but sometimes they teach us a Lamrim and some kind of mind training with the big group. At the way beginning, almost takes, at least take 30 minutes to talk about the correct motivation. And then also reminding each teaching time, the 3 parts and 6 ideas for how to listening Dharma. Each single time, they remind it to people. So the lamas are reminding people. So, so that's well as that's even we are not reminding every single time. Just as you know that you have to remember it. The 6. I shouldn't be a part upside down. I shouldn't be a part which is whole, which has a hole, right? I shouldn't be a part of which is dirty. So the part of that, that the part which is not become a dirty is that it's correcting intention with the bodhicitta will help you to that you are not the part of dirty. But other things, 2 things, it's very much depend on your mindfulness or recollections, right? That help you to not become a part of upside down and part of holes, has holes, okay? The 6 idea, that's always try to remember. After that, even we are mentioned or not mentioned, okay? Each time, This help. Okay, now today the topic is perfection of meditative stabilizations, and then wisdom, right? So actually, Lama Tsongkhapa explained these two extensively with the one book, other volume book. So, and then why he like explained these two extensively than other perfections, right? Because when he, at his time, 14th or 13th centuries, there are a lot of conflict about meditation and a lot of conflict about the view, Prasangika view. Even there are many scholars, the practitioner has confused or conflict or wrong explanation or wrong conceptual. So therefore, so he talks separately these two because there are something going on that time. So, and also before that, then again, if he talked these two parties extensively, then why he mentioning here briefly two times, that what two times he talking here? He's right now he has a perfection of meditative observation wisdom, and then other one is right. So these two times you can think this one is brief one, another one is more explain like extensive, or you can think this is the more rude one, other one is commentary. You can think that way. It's no completing, no complete repeating two times. The meditative stabilization and wisdom, they are no complete. And also, whatever Lama Tsongkhapa talks here, he will not repeat the same things at the next time. He will say, okay, go. If you want more know, you go up. And then here maybe I will explain later. So here not repeating, even that two time talks each time. Therefore, so do not think that I will learn more extensively about the perfection of meditative. Therefore, I don't have to pay attention here right now. But what talks here, we will not repeat it. That's you need to know, okay? Okay. So how to train in the perfection of meditative establishments? There are five parts. What meditative stabilization, or what is like an entity or definitions, and how to begin the cultivation of the meditative stabilizations, and then the division of the meditative stabilizations, and how to practice a summary. This five subject is not just with the here, right? All from beginning, generosity, morality, patient practice. Always he explained each perfection, explained with these five parts. Do you notice that? Okay. So now see here, part of that, what meditative stabilizations, page 210. Meditative stabilization is a virtuous, one-pointed state of mind that stays fixed on its object of meditation without distraction to other things. So that's actually definitions of the meditative stabilizations. Meditative stabilization, we have a few different terms in Tibetan. Here we call samden, and sometimes we call tengzin, sometimes we call shine as the same. But here, concentration or like stabilizations, and then sometimes we commonly use that Sanskrit language shamatha, right? So but the shamatha is like is translated to English. I think it's more stabilizations. Then samden as a Tibetan here. What the Sanskrit is, we call Dhanala, Dhanala means hold mind. That's the saying. It is, I think, if you translate in English, could be concentration, stabilization, right? Okay. Stabilizations. What you are stabilizing is your minds, right? It's more first like calm and stable on what called the object, whatever you are single pointedly, right? That's stabilizations. And same as this one is also like a it's a mental things. It's not the physical, even like a meditative stabilization, same as like morality, generosity, patience, joyful affect, all are mental, right? Mental factor. Okay, so and then in the mental factor, they are like about two type mental, right? What called principal mind and secondary mind. All these six perfections are secondary mind. It's not the principal mind. Okay, the secondary mind as well. Here, this is also one of the secondary mind, which is like a stabilization on virtues. Now, this is should understand here. Sometimes we are concentrate or very much single pointed who very much you love, right? So like a desire things also brings you some kind of concentrations, that attachment and desire, right? So it will let you concentrate on who you're very much attached on that. It will be kind of like more single pointed. Every time you will remember, even that person's in front of you or not. Even you are eating, remember the same person. Even you are sleeping, remember the same person. Even you comes in dream, or even you walk outside, even you talk to people, it's remember the person. It's kind of like a concentration, right? Single pointed mind. You understand why I'm talking? What I'm talking? Okay. So who falls in love each other? It's the first moment. That's the they feel it, right? Eating, drinking, whatever. That's just keeps in mind. That kind of like concentration, but we are not called as a shamatha. We are not called as a dhanala, right? We are not called as something and thingizin as a Tibetan terms. But the English word establishing or concentration, I don't know. That's you might use it for that because you do not have a different terms which has this single pointed and other single pointed. You know, the single pointed in virtue, single pointed and romantic things. So that do not have a different terms, right? You might use obsession. Obsessions. Obsession. You're obsessed with something. I see.
What is the Tibetan term for
thing is in something?
No, not for that. For what you were describing. Like
we don't have it, it's just the decha. Yeah, it's just attachment.
I don't think obsess is the right word. It's a negative term. Obsess.
I agree.
Passion. I think it is a negative thing to be like that. Obsessed with something.
No, if you're in love with somebody, you don't have to be obsessed about it. Passion, you say passion, that sounds better.
I think in order to really fully see it as a negative term, you have to like really kind of ignore dependent origination. You have to kind
the
of
single,
like
yeah, actually single pointed and concentration is not the common terms that you use in daily life, right?
Yeah.
Not really use, okay. So then, sorry?
Concentration maybe. Like
concentration, okay.
You have to concentrate on
in work and something else, yeah. Yeah. What you say?
But you can also say mindful. I mean, mindfulness doesn't always have to be positive. You can be mindful of a romantic relationship.
Yeah, mindfulness not always necessarily positive.
You could say awareness.
So you don't have to be obsessive about it, but you can be mindful of it without getting obsessive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to
awareness? I don't know how. Really, awareness?
Sean said infatuation might be a better word.
I agree.
Okay. Whatever, okay. Whatever, what I'm trying to say it,
And throw.
yeah. The shamatha, Sanskrit language, Tibetan language, Tibetan words, tingizin and samden. So tingizin, something a little bit different, but samden here right now talking what the fifth perfections, samden that we call it. Some means think, mind, then means like a stable, right? Something. So that word, it's like a stabilizations on what's called, he said, a meditative aspiration is a virtue. That's we talking about. The virtue is the observation object, that single pointed mind, right? The virtue should be the observation object. And but where you training at the beginning, you can observe on tree and flower. These are not really virtue, right? But it can brings you that single pointed mind. But here, like what we said, with the fifth perfections, which is called concentration or stabilizations, that mind, the observation object should be virtues. As same like a joyful effort, we have a lot of effort things to do with the many different things. But here, in six perfections, the effort only observe in virtue, right? That's the concept. You are joyous with the virtuous actions. You are happy with the virtuous actions. Other things is not counted. Other things is like a false of virtue, like a false of joyful effort, right? You have a joyous effort with some worldly activities that we call it's laziness, right? It's one of the fault of joyous as perseverance. So therefore, it's not the joyous perseverance. Joyous perseverance should be joyous with virtuous actions, right? Same as here, meditative stabilization. Which mind you are more observing on virtues, single pointedly on the virtues that it counted. Otherwise, the desire things as you are angry, right? So you are really observing on your enemy who caused you problem. You're observing and thinking again and again and again and again. So it's without distraction, right? Without distraction, that person's how they act just comes in your mind without other thought. So that not call it like a here, the single pointed thing is in or something, okay? Yeah, that's we should know. The mind, which is only focusing or observing on the virtue, and also the quality of mind is single pointedly, the single pointed one. This is the saying here, okay? And then nature of this is the mental factor. It's a secondary mind, right? Secondary mind, which is observing the virtue single pointedly. This is you can think here, the meditative stabilizations. Okay. The Bodhisattva level says it's not really exactly giving that that definition. It's more devotions. I think it's talking here. It is the one-pointed state of mind. Stabilize it on virtue, and either mundane or super mundane, or bodhisattvas who have first studied and reflected on the bodhisattvas, what called scriptural. What's that? Scriptural collections. Whether it is oriented toward meditative serenity, toward insight or toward both, as the path that conjoins them. Understand that the one-pointed state of mind is the bodhisattva's meditative stabilizations. It's kind of yes, the beginning part is gives some kind of definition, and then second parts are how many different type of meditative stabilizations there, right? So, and if you are Tibetan, then I have to like make term different. Some then and things in what is really different or not different. I have to talk on that, but here I don't see to its important part to talk on that. So engaging in the Bodhisattvas deeds also said, having thus generate joyous perseverance, set your mind in the meditative concentrations is the definition of the meditative stabilizations or something. Okay.
So what's if this is a secondary line, then what's the principal one? You mentioned primary. Principal
Oh, okay.
secondary line.
In general, there are six principal mind, right? 6 principal mind, which are the 5 consciousness, 5 sense consciousness, and then mental consciousness are the main mind or primary mind. And there are the lot of secondary mind, right? Yeah, these 6 perfections are also one of this perfection minds. And also interesting things is here that the meditative stabilizations or Dingzin, it's a real Dingzin or a similar Dingzin. That's whatever mind we have it, what we call it's like object of definitive ascertainment. Ascertainment, okay. Object of definitive ascertainment. So this we have a 5 kind of mind, 5 secondary mind, which is it says like an object of definitive ascertainment, as what called ascertainment, right? So and then meditative stabilization is one of those. And then what is the definitive? The object is virtues, as I said it. Because other, which is concentration, one is which is concentrating on other things, not really call it that meditative stabilizations mind. Okay.
It's a secondary mind, meditative stabilization. Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah, it is secondary mind.
Okay.
Yeah, it is secondary mind. You know, sometimes, not sometimes, many times it's confusing us. Mindfulness, recollections, meditative stabilizations. Is this all are same or not? The mindfulness, meditative stabilizations, recollections.
I would say it's within a similar category, but you're kind of just, I think there's a subtlety between the 3 of them. I mean, when you're recollecting things, I think you're going back to your memories. When you're stabilized on something, you're actively in the present.
Mm-hmm.
So you said recollection, meditate. What was the other one? I'm sorry.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
In mindfulness is basically you're basically bringing yourself back. It's more of an active thing. So you've got recollection and mindfulness being active, while the stabilization is more of I don't want to say passive, but it's not. You're not actively doing something. And again, recollection is in the past.
Yeah, one thing clear that you're saying observation objects is different. My recollection should be the observation object is previous one,
Right.
which is you familiarization's previous
So
one.
the difference always depends on the object.
No, not always. Not always.
Okay.
Just always stay with what the really subject is. That makes you, sometimes different. At that case, that's the one thing is object, right? the recollections always like a focus on which you more stay with the previous object, which you have familiarizations, which you have familiar, right? And then stabilizations is movement, it's more present. And then mindfulness, sometimes, you know, the mindfulness is tricky part. I don't know. Sometimes the Tibetan word temba is actually recollection. And then sometimes people translate temba as a mindfulness. And sometimes meditative stabilizations, concentration is translated as if this is something or thing is in a Tibetan word, translated to mindfulness. I don't know. These two is totally different. Recollection and meditative stabilization or concentrations are totally different. Two different secondary mind. As the object is different, how function it is different. So, but the mindfulness sometimes this is translated as a mindfulness, this is translated to mindfulness. That makes me confused. So I don't know what really said mindfulness how it means, right? For me, the mindfulness more connected to the meditative stabilizations or concentrations instead of recollections. So, okay. So why I'm mentioning this? Because we need to know exactly which secondary mind is the meditative stabilizations. Why we need to know? Why are we looking definition of this mind? Do you know?
We know how to recognize it.
Yeah, exactly. When you do practice, you have to exactly recognize them. Oh, that is the mind exactly. I need to build it up. I need to generate it, right? I need to develop it. So otherwise, just say mindfulness. There are no definition, and then you kind of defining by your own briefly, and then just following it. Sometimes it goes wrong. So that's a very important. Find it out the exactly definition, what we need to practice, what kind of mind we need to build it up, right? All these 6 preparations are same. Exactly, you have to find it out the exactly one. So, okay, these are the part of I try to explain what is the meditative of stabilizations. Okay, definition. You were clear? You were clear with it? Okay. So, and then I just bring some kind of, it's not really different definitions. It is help us to how to do practice, which is like I quoted from Kadamba book, which is from Kadamba master. Say the best concentration is the uncontrived mind. That's the best concentrations, as I said. It's also help us to understanding, clearing more the definitions. Uncontrived mind. You know, this is the best concentrations. So, like I say, our meditations is contracting. It's more contrived, right? We are making it up. We are making it up because it's not naturally comes, right? So even like a compassion, loving kindness, whatever we are trying to do practice, we just try to make it up, imagine it, imagine it, or it's more artificially, right? So once it turns into the more natural, that's uncontrived. So without any effort, without any like any kind of what called let's say whenever you are think, it's immediate comes. That's the like a what's called uncontrived. That's the means. So uncontrived and contrived goes with the all single practice. Compassion, contrived, uncontrived. Bodhicitta has a contrived, uncontrived, as well as realizing emptiness, contrived, uncontrived. So with this way beginning, when we generate compassion or try to meditate on emptiness, most of the time it's contrived. You have to work hard. made it up. Even you are not see clearly, then you try to see clearly. Even you're not understanding clear, you try to understand clear. So all these meditation parts are actually contrived. Most are contrived for us. I don't think we have a uncontrived kind of like a meditation on any kind of. I'm not discouraging you, okay? Take it as an encouragement. Because if I don't have it, I have to build it up. That's you need to think it, okay? Therefore, this is the most always I'm saying. This is a surprise for me, even the Tibetan community, when I said, no, this is not compassion. Very upset. Very upset. So why is not compassion? So far I'm thinking it is compassion. Then why not have it? You don't have it, therefore we're teaching you. You don't have it, therefore we're encouraging you and do practice, right? So this is like well, it is one kind of like a surprise thing for me. Were you going to say something?
I was just thinking a couple of things about this meditation. If we meditating, if we turn our attention, for example, to clear light, meditating on this clear light, no clouds, no nothing, this clear light, is that still contrived? Because we're thinking.
Of course, it is contrived. Yeah, it is contrived.
What if we turn inside and we're just sensing our body? Just a sense.
Just think that, right?
Huh?
How looks like an uncontrived one? You think more that, you try to understand more that, then you will understand my one is contrived or uncontrived, right? So uncontrived, as I said, it naturally comes up. Whatever you, even you are sleeping, compassion comes, right? So whatever circumstances, whoever beings, right? Difficulty or like a easier or whatever, like a poor and rich, whoever you see, immediate compassion comes. That uncontrived, without any effort. Becoming like this you have to put a lot of effort to get this, right? So therefore we work hard. So that's the same as like all this other practice. We're starting from contrived, artificial, because wants to become uncontrived. Once you become uncontrived, effortless, joy, what called no work hard. Yeah.
Maybe you can say it comes automatically.
Yeah, you can say that comes automatically. Yeah. So as like our desire, as like our anger. This is uncontrived. Once we have it, right? Without effort, without think lot, without educated, it comes, right? So that you have to be same with the compassion, bodhicitta, emptiness. Let it come or naturally. But as I said, it's very much depend on how much you put effort, work hard to get this one. Why not? Yeah. So even we are very close to achieving bodhicitta, still they are contrived one, right? So our compassion is way far from, even not really close. But who are really close, still they are contrived. When they think, there comes. When they do not think, not comes. And then when they meditate, it comes. When they do not meditate, it not comes. This is very high level. When they meditate, it comes. It's very high level, but still depend on some kind of effort. It's depend on some kind of action to get it, right? So you need some kind of things. But either you are meditate or not meditate, either you put effort or not effort, it comes forever, it comes naturally, automatically. That is uncontrived. Okay? So therefore, the best concentration is the uncontrived mind. And then to practitioner, it says, the root of concentration lies in seeking solitude. It's a root of concentration is stay away from some kind of distractions, right? either it's a place, person, whatever. Stay away from distraction parts. So this is the saying root of concentrations. So finding the solitary place, right? Become your solitary. Solitude is not just the place only. Is solitary and isolate is same? What is the isolate mean?
Isolated. Same.
Kind of like, right?
Solitude.
Solitude, yeah. So not just place, also your mind. This is more, things that important things. Our mind has to make it more solitude. So that is depend on just find a place, solitary one, right? So this is therefore say the root of concentrations lies in a seeking solitude, solitude or solitude. I don't know. And then it says that you should cultivate the recognition of concentration as a great treasure. This is part of saying the benefit of concentration. It will become later, you know that. But these three important things, I put it together. Cultivate the recognition of concentration as a great treasure. Once you get concentration perfect, all other practice makes you very easy to achieve it, or makes you very easy to practice it. So and then it will get faster, not take long time. When you have a concentration mind, any kind of practice, like either compassion, bodhicitta, or renunciation, emptiness, impermanent, whatever that we need to practice, whatever that we need to engage, achieve it, makes you faster, right? And then actually the Lamrim said more, we'll explain later, right? Okay. It says how to begin the cultivate of meditative stabilization. It's the same, all six preparation has the main things: thinking, benefit and fall, right? So the make your mind begin to cultivate it. Begin to cultivate compassion, begin to cultivate generosity, morality practice, or patient practice, choice, present practice, whatever practice is cultivating part is thinking more benefit of doing this practice, and then fall of not having that kind of perfections, right? So it's a think over the benefit of cultivating meditative stabilizations and the fault of not cultivating it. I will explain this in the meditative serenity sections. It's like we'll be explaining more on that. But one thing's like briefly, one of the Lama Tsongkhapas, I think you can think this is like a small Lamrim. What we're reading is great Lamrim book. They are medium Lamrim book. And then small one has just few foundation of good quality actually is the part of Lamrim. It's teach Lamrim, but that one is more has a more detail than foundation of good foundation of good quality. Therefore, we consider that one is what I call the spring song of Song of Realization. No.
The small one.
What's the small Lamrim called Song of Realization?
Yeah, it's one.
Lamrim Nyamgur. Okay, Nyamgur. Yeah, Song of Realization, and sometimes we say it like a brief Lamrim. Lamrim Dudun.
Easy path also.
Easy Path is like a commentary of Lamrim. Yeah. Easy Path, there are also Swift Path, there are some usually we are counting 8 great commentary. The Easy Path is one of these, the commentary of Lamrim. Lamrim is commentary of Atisha's Lama Path, right? Yeah. So, and then Lamrim, which is Lama Tsongkhapa come forth, is like a great, medium. They're great, like extensive length, medium length, and shortest length. So the shortest length, there's saying like a song of what's called realizations, song of realizations, or either you can call brief Lamrim. And that Lamrim talks about the benefit here. The concentration is the king, that region over the mind. Concentration is the king, that region over the mind. When left, it is as unwavering as the king of mountain. You follow me?
Unwavering is the king of mountain.
Yeah.
When left.
King of mind. What's that?
The sentence you said, when left?
Yeah, when left, it is as unwavering as the king of mountain. So it's saying, like this table is moved, right? But the king of mountain, when it put it there, it's remaining as unwavering. No one can move it, right? Yeah. So that's the giving example. Once you have that concentration mind, whatever you are concentrating on, practice bodhicitta or human leisure opportunity, whatever you are concentrating on, it will be stay as like a mountain of king, unwavering. Stay with that object, how much you like it, how long you like it, will be stayed. That is the one benefit of having concentration mind. Also, it says concentration, the king, that region over the mind, right? When you have a concentration, we just recently read it from Joyce Perseverance, say, once you have Joyce Perseverance, then you can control the mind. They said it, right? You can control the mind. Your mind become more flexible. The flexible with the virtues. Right now, difficult to try to get the mind associated with the virtues. But once you have a Joyce Perseverance, it's automatic. So always associate with the virtues. And it will be listen to you, that your mind will listen to you. Your mind become more flexible, that how much you want it, that much mind will do it. If you stay long terms with that one kind of meditation, as well as you like it, how much you want it, that much staying it. It's very following your instructions. And then you say, okay, I'm gonna stop, the mind stop. And stay as a more stable, then stabilize it. No, stabilize and analyze it, then dual it together. So stabilize with the analytical, so that much mind will be flexible. So this is the Joyce Perseverance result, right? That we just talked it. So therefore say, the king, that region over the mind, concentration is kind of like a king of mind. The, ordering, whatever you order it listen it. You understand, right? How we are right now.
The opposite.
We are slave to mind. Now, the practice, Joyce Perseverance and concentration, making mind slave to you, serve to you. This is how we do. As also say, unwavering king of mountain means like you will never move from what you need to concentrate. That is the also things. When set forth is engaged, when set forth, it engage with all object of virtue. You understand, right? It induces the great bliss of serviceable body and mind. You understand? Serviceable, yeah, serviceable body and mind. It induces the great bliss of a serviceable body of mind. These are the talking about like a benefit of the concentrations. And then continue saying, knowing this is the great accomplished yogis, constantly apply meditations, destroy the enemy of distraction. I, a yogi, have practiced in this manner. You who aspire for the liberation should do likewise. So this is the from there, even like breathe, and then you can think like the fault. What is the opposite of fault? Which is like a mind is too much distracted, like as well as like how much we have distractions, that much difficult to practice. Therefore, I'm saying that we don't have a compassion. Yeah, we don't have a compassion because our mind is very much distracted by all these worldly things, all the daily life activities, distracted by all many things, right? You do not have a concentrations. If you do not have a concentrations, achieving compassion is very far. But you can get some kind of similar things, right? The similarity of compassion. So therefore, we'll be explaining more. Lama Tsongkhapa said in Serenity sections about benefit and faults. This is the way we need to cultivate that concentration mind. Okay. So now division of meditative stabilizations. Division, right? The division of meditative stabilizations. In line with the above, what called? Citation from the Bodhisattva level. If you subdivide meditative stabilization according to nature, there are two kinds, mundane and super mundane. This is the main divisions. There are many different ways to divide it. There are many different ways. This is the nature or entity. These both are concentration. Every time when we divide it with whatever, it's not necessarily that has to be same entity. But this mundane stabilization, meditative stabilization, and super mundane meditative stabilization, both are meditative stabilizations.
So the difference between mundane and supramundane?
Yeah, I'm coming there. So be patient. Okay, there are few like a way to describe mundane and super mundane. And in general, we know that mundane means that mundane mind. Okay, this is not talking like every kind of mundane. That's the mental factor, mind, mundane. Let's say meditative stabilizations, the mundane that is which is the concentration mind of which is not the what do you call it? Ordinary beings. Okay, with the mind of ordinary. If we say ordinary beings, that is also confused with us. You know, when we say practitioner, there are 5 paths, right? The 5 paths: accumulation path, preparation path, seeing path, meditation path, and normal learning path. These two, whoever achieve these 2 paths, is still ordinary being. We consider these 2 is also ordinary being. But we are way like a small capacity, right? Yeah, we are ordinary being, but you know what to say, not this ordinary being, right? This is we call ordinary being, right? Sosokyu, a Tibetan term is Sosokyu. Sosokyu translated as ordinary being. And then these 3 paths, like a seeing path, meditation path, and normal learning path, is Arya beings. Who hold this path, who achieve these 3 paths are the Arya beings. Who has these 2 paths are the ordinary beings. Okay, that's now I'm talking sometime the mundane meditative stabilizations are, who ordinary being have that meditative mind. It's a mundane, right? And then, okay. Let's explain that. And who achieved those 3 paths, like the seeing path, the preparation path, and like a seeing path, meditation path, and normal learning path. the being who achieve these three in their meditative concentrations are super maintained. That's the one way to describe it. Maintain and super maintain. And then sometimes we say contamination and uncontamination, right? What is the opposite of contamination? You can say uncontamination.
Uncontaminated versus
Uncontamination, uncontaminated. Okay, uncontamination and contaminations, right?
So the scene path, the meditation path, the no more learning path, and the two first ones are.
Accumulation path and preparation path.
So what can we read more about the 5 paths?
What called perfection of wisdom.
Perfection of wisdom.
Yeah, special the Maitreya Buddhas. The Maitreya Buddha has a 2 ornament. He has a composed like a ornament of sutra, ornament of jewel, or ornament of garland. There are two textbook there. That's both talks that
Sutra, jewel, and what else? Garland?
jewel or garland.
Or garland.
Yeah, yeah.
all the Mahayana Sutra Alamkara.
Yeah, Alamkara is Sanskrit words. So okay, so the first 2 paths are mundane and super mundane. It's the first 2 paths are mundane, and then next 3 parts are super mundane because first 2 not realize emptiness directly, and the second 3 are realize emptiness directly. That's the defined it. Who sees emptiness directly? The paths are super mundane path. Meditative established are super mundane meditative. Whatever they do have a quality inside. It's becoming more super mundane because emptiness is directly. And who do not see emptiness directly, they are all quality path or meditative establishment, whatever they have inside qualities are mundane, right? This is the describe. And the same way as a contrived, uncontrived, the path, uncontrived path are super mundane, contrived path are again mundane. So the reason are same. Uncontrived means sees emptiness directly, and then mundane means like a contrived means like contamination. Sorry, contamination and uncontaminations. Contamination, which I said wrong earlier, that not really contrived and contamination and uncontaminations.
Uncontaminated path.
Oh, yeah, uncontaminated path and contamination path. So contaminated path are mundane, uncontaminated path are super mundane. Again, see emptiness directly or not, right? So this is how we explain mundane and super mundane meditative stabilizations. And then the maintain, the word called mundane. Mundane. So the meditative stabilizations, the mundane parts are, I think it will be explained here. Let's see. And if you do so according to orientations, there are 3 kinds. Okay, now let's say there are 3 kinds of oriented toward serenity, toward insight, or toward both conjoined, right? Yeah. So it's like meditative stabilization with associated with serenity, or meditative stabilization with associated with insight, special insight, which is wisdom, or both combined. There are 3 kind of meditative stabilizations also, right?
So can I ask a question? Does this mean that we have a total of 5, or can you
not total 5. It's like a different way to define it. Different way to define it.
So and when I read this,
Uh-huh.
my feeling was that mundane would contain the orientation towards serenity and towards insight, where your super mundane is the ability to do both combined, conjoined.
No, mundane has all these three. Super mundane has all these three.
Okay.
Right? The mundane has a meditative, like a stabilizations, which is associated with serenity, insight, combined.
Right.
Or super mundane meditative stabilization, also associated with the serenity, what's called insight and combined.
Supra.
Okay.
Supra.
So the
Supra. Okay.
will also, okay. So
Yeah.
maybe I misunderstood it.
Yeah.
I thought that once you got, or if you were in a super mundane,
Yeah,
it was just
not.
combined, but
Yeah.
it's not.
No, not.
Okay.
So the mundane path, like a preparation, accumulation path and preparation path, they are on meditative stabilizations, also sometimes associated with the insight, which is wisdom, but object should be like either like impermanent bodhicitta, compassion, something like that, but not emptiness. Not, they do not have a special insight with the emptiness, right? So, but they do have a special insight with some other things, like other object.
So the difference in the insight of wisdom between the sim part, meditation part, and no more learning part. You want to talk about it a couple of minutes?
Not now. Yeah.
So, Geshe, then when I'm going to just repeat what I think I'm understanding. So that the uncontrived, supramundane.
Better not say uncontrived, contamination.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I change it.
Right,
I change it,
sorry.
okay.
So the uncontaminated supramundane has, see, I was mixing up uncontrived. I was thinking it had that uncontrived experience of emptiness no matter
Yeah,
what.
okay.
But that has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with, yeah. Then not uncontrived, contrived, both has a contrived and uncontrived actually. It's depend on what object. Super mundane has a contrived and uncontrived. Mundane has this contrived and uncontrived. Depend on what they realize, depend on what they achieved it, depend on what they meditating on, what they're practicing, right? Yeah. So the way beginning, most, as I said, beginning are the contrived and then it's becoming uncontrived, right? Okay, therefore super mundane also has that kind of things. Arya beings are the super mundane beings, and Arya beings, the inside path are super mundane path, and say below the other beings are the ordinary beings, and their paths are ordinary path. Like a mundane path. That's how you can think. Mundane being or mundane path. Okay. And then now you understand the kind of like another way that there are another kind of the devotion is saying the three kinds is oriented toward serenity, toward insight, toward conjoined. So toward what's it, conjoined or conjoined?
Conjoined. It means combined.
Conjoined, right? Okay. So the conjoined, whoever have that in special insight, that automatically conjoined, because having that kind of a special insight, you has build it up the serenity first. You know, the first you achieved shamatha, right? As serenity, shamatha is first. Without achieving shamatha, you will not achieve the special insight. So therefore, special insight is depend on having that shamatha mind based on concentration, serenity, or shamatha. Then the continuous practice, and then achieving that special insight, and it's automatically combined. There are no third part there, right? But whatever like a special insight, it's not necessarily always combined. Therefore, it's separately counted as combined. But the most of special insight are combined one. You know, the combining wisdom and single-pointed mind. Single-pointed mind and analytic, combining, another way to say single-pointed mind and analytical mind is combined. that you can do it. You can analyze it with the single pointed mind. You can think many details with the single pointed mind. Then you will not feel how come it's single pointed mind, right? So that's the combinations talking about conjoined means. So right now we are trying to single point it. We cannot analyze it. It's distractions. When try to analyze it, we will not have a single pointed mind. It goes like a conflict for us. But once after you build it up, the concentration or meditative stabilizations or serenity, that allow you to like have a special insight. Then whenever you have a special insight, then you can analyze this with single pointed mind. You can look at more detail with the single pointed mind. This just means conjoined. Conjoined means like that, right? That's for meditative stabilization. Also goes with the meditative stabilization. Only stay with the serenity. No more special insight or meditate. Sometimes meditative. I don't know. Yes, sometimes very few are meditative stabilization. Only stay with the special insight. But say most of the time it's like whenever meditative stabilizations associating or toward with special insight, it is conjoined. It is combinations of both. Okay, so this is the another way to understand the meditative stabilizations. It's not just one things. It goes with associated with many different things. And say there are 3 types. Okay, if you subdued it according to the function, another way to functioning now subdued according subdivide also. Okay, thank you. If you subdivide it according to the function, there are 3 types again. Meditative stabilization that stabilizes the body and mind in bliss within the present life. Meditative stabilizations that achieved good qualities, and meditative stabilization that carries out the welfare of living beings. The next are defining each are. So the first meditative establishing that stabilizes the body and mind in bliss within this present life is all meditative establishing that generate mental and physical plancy when you enter them with the ecopause. So it's kind of like you are meditating this lifetime. Once you achieve that kind of shamatha, that we call shamatha, right? Serenity, shamatha, as very blissful there. As said, both mind and body have become flexible, and top of that has a blissful. So I don't know if you are doing meditations, even you are not achieved like all this, even you're not the past all 9th level, right? So like a 2nd level, 3rd level, still you feel some kind of bliss when you meditate. If you meditate, you're doing meditations. Even the 3rd level have some kind of bliss, then achieving actual serenity, how will be there? You can imagine that. So that's the way you can understand what does bliss mean, right? Therefore, it's a formless realms, they have a very much less opportunity to doing practice, Dharma practice, because they are attaching with that kind of blissful. They do whatever they do have a mind. Their mind is the serenity. Their mind is shamatha. So it comes from karma. It's not just way practice it. It's when they're born in form realm, their mind, serenity mind is there then, right? So so they are very much enjoying with that kind of blissful, right? So therefore, they are not thinking I need to do more Dharma practice, I have to do renunciations, I have to do compassion. They are not thinking that, because renunciation is kind of like a suffering for them. They're very much blissful with the serenity mind or meditative stabilizations, as well the formless realm. So therefore, these realms are less opportunity to do Dharma practice, very much less opportunity to achieving enlightenment at that life, their life.
I was just wondering if the mantra recitations, when you start doing 10,000 or 100,000, could that bring on a blissful state and that kind of focused attention? Recitation.
Mantra recitation is, I don't think it.
No.
Mantra recitation, as like say, I know English language now. This is enough to getting my all joyful and enjoy it, right? I'm using my English language and looking what I needed, right? Just knowing English language is not brings me all this my joyful. That I have to use that English language and then bringing all joyful, I'm collecting, right? So mantra recitation is like a knowing kind of language, like a Deity's language. Then you reciting that mantra, then thinking that meaning, and more concentration inside, concentrations, yeah, and like a thinking meaning or meditating on meaning, that will be the help you to more getting blissful. Just mantra recitation, I don't think so. Since I'm very young, I start recite Om Mani Padme Hum, and then recite some kind of Manjushri mantra. I'm still keep reciting each day at least one mala. But where is blissful there? No, not blissful there. No. If we count it, it will be more than 100,000, because since very young, right? That's started.
So why do you recite?
Mantra.
Why? So
Why?
why do you recite the mantra?
I want to remind my practice I want to just collect some kind of virtues, the verbal, and need to change that kind of verbal. That's I'm reciting mantra. Right? Okay.
There's like, I mean, you talked about uncontrived concentration as the best concentration. And so here you're talking about, divided by function, 3 types of meditative stabilization. And you also asked earlier about mindfulness. So the first one seems to correspond to what we conventionally, or what is commonly thought of as mindfulness, which is stabilize the body, mind, bliss with the present life.
Yeah, it's uncontrived.
That's mindfulness, uncontrived.
It's uncontrived,
Right,
yeah.
that's mindfulness. 2 has to do with morality. It's good qualities, and so it's uncontrived morality. You don't have to agonize over what the right thing is. You kind of know, right?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, maybe perhaps in that sense. Maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that. The third has to do with bodhicitta. Meditative stabilization that cares about the welfare of all living beings. It's uncontrived bodhicitta that then acts in the world. It's not just a state of bodhicitta that.
Yeah, uncontrived bodhicitta, that means you really achieve bodhicitta.
Right.
Once you achieved actual bodhicitta, it is uncontrived bodhicitta.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not even like sitting down to meditate. It's just you have that attitude, and you're
bodhicitta is mind.
It's mind, right?
Yeah, mind. And then it will let you some kind of actions, that's of course. But before even contrived bodhicitta, they already have a uncontrived compassion, but contrived bodhicitta, right? but still they can act even they're not achieved actual bodhicitta. They can act it. They can act it by their motivation. Yeah. Okay, this is the first one. They explained, which is like a present life having some kind of blissful. This is the one way to divide it. And then what was the second? Where's that?
Just ask them real quick. The bliss part is the physical pliancy, or is it the mental?
It says
pliancy?
both mind and body.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So first you will have mind blissful. That help you to have the body blissful. Again, it's combined. It comes one by one. It combined it. Okay. The second, which is like what is that? Second is meditative as stabilization that achieve good qualities, right? Okay. The second meditative stabilization that achieve good qualities is all meditative stabilization which accomplish good quality, share with the sarvakas, super knowledges, then liberations, what called totalities, masteries, right? And so on. So it's kind of like a common good qualities talking here. It's like a, actually says like a, you can also think like all uncommon and common both, like say meditative as stabilizations, which is brings you all this path and bhumis are. That's we call meditation stabilization brings you good quality. Every single meditative stabilization is not necessarily brings you good quality as a form Rams being has that meditative stabilizations, but they're enjoying with this lifetime, not try to use that meditative stabilizations to achieve the path and bhumisa. It's not really brings you good quality. So therefore, meditation establishing there, which also brings you good quality. That's counted separate than the having prison life bliss, because every single whoever have that will not try to achieve that one, right? Not try to use for that. So therefore, it's counted say meditative stabilization, which is brings you good quality, also path and bhumis are okay. And the third, meditative stabilizations that carries out the welfare of living beings is meditative stabilization that accomplish the 11 activities for others. It's not just only the accomplish 11. The accomplished 11 activities are more physical action. Okay, most are the physical action. But here, meditative stabilizations brings you like some kind of super knowledge, like a what you call clairvoyance, some kind of like emanating things, some kind of you have a quality to emanate it. You have a quality to change something by your power. So that kind of quality you will achieve it after you achieve the meditative stabilizations. That use it for welfare to others with the 11 activities. 11 activities are the same, which is we mentioned in the morality, joyous perseverance, right? They do have a morality of beings, welfare to other beings, joyous perseverance for welfare to other beings. Now here, concentration is also associated with the welfare to other beings, but it means meditative stabilization brings you more quality. It brings you better quality to helping other beings, as well as like say clairvoyance are. You understand? Yeah. So okay. So then this is the part of the devotion and how to do practice. As the same, whenever you practice any virtues, meditative stabilization, you do so in association with the 6 super masses, right? Supremacies and all 6 perfections. Same. The generosity of meditative establishment is maintaining the meditative establishments yourself and the establishment to other. It's counted separately because each perfections, their generosity part is different. But other patients' morality are the same. Same means not exactly same, but way same. Their way of them. Oh, okay. Makes me tired that way you look at me. Do I need to explain from beginning? From beginning. Okay. Okay, now here, this is the, I think we don't have to explain because each perfection always repeating these things, and understand the other perfections from the earliest explanations. Exactly, Lamrim said it, that how we need to do it. What's that?
What are the 6 supremacies?
Page 121.
Yes, that's good answer. Page 121. So can you read one more time? Everyone hear it, just a reminder. Can you read it?
Oh,
yeah.
the 6 supremacies?
Yeah, 6 supremacies, yeah.
All right.
It should be start from basis,
Yeah.
right, which is motivation. What's that?
It's at the top of page 121.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if I numbered them too, so I thought maybe you were a little further down. They were, are you giving, okay. Let me just start here.
Okay.
Supreme basis means that you practice generosity based on the spirit of enlightenment. That is, you act after you have been motivated by it.
Yeah, this is the one of the 6 supremacies. Motivation.
Also intention.
Yeah, intention with the bodhicitta. Okay, this is the important intention with the bodhicitta. Okay.
Supreme things mean that in general you give all objects that can be given, and even when you are engaged in specific acts of generosity, you do not give up this thought of giving away everything.
Instead of generosity, now you change to the morality, you change to the patience, you change to the concentrations. Yeah.
Supreme aim is when you give things away to all living beings for the sake of their immediate happiness and ultimate benefit. Supreme skill in means is said to be when generosity is imbued with non-conceptual sublime wisdom. Beginning bodhisattvas should take this to be the wisdom that knows the lack of intrinsic nature in objects. Supreme dedication means that you dedicate the virtues from generosity to complete enlightenment. Supreme purity is when you stop both the afflictive and the cognitive obscurations.
Yeah. These are the 6 ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it goes with all these perfections.
But you can practice the 6 supremas, the 6 supremacies,
Perfect.
unless you reach a higher level.
No, unless you like a complete each perfections. Each perfection you do with the 6 supremacies and 6 perfections. It's not saying you do separately 6 supremacies. Each perfection, like when you do now here concentration, right? Meditative stabilizations practice. Well, how to practice? You do with your motivation should be to the bodhicitta.
Yeah, but you cannot practice each perfection with the 6 supremacies.
Why not?
Unless you are in the 3 higher path level, path of seeing, path of the meditative path of no more learning. You cannot practice the perfections with the supremacies if you are in the accumulation path of the preparation, but you are incapable.
Okay, where of you saying whoever the doing practice is automatically achieved it, right?
No.
So therefore I said every beginner practice are contrived and go to uncontrived. As we can do generosity practice, right? So perfect, and not just generosity practice, perfection of generosity practice. We should start it. So who is starting the generative practice? I don't think they have all this achieved it, right?
Yeah, so you could say that uncontrived bodhicitta, by putting, you know, the stricture that it has to be in one of these paths, you're changing it. It becomes contrived. Right? So the experience of uncontrived bodhicitta or uncontrived mindfulness, where you're aware, it's not mediated.
Yeah, it's not immediate. It's like a step by step.
You know?
You're starting from step by step. The first step, you have a blanket inside there. Do you need a blanket?
No.
Okay. So step by step, right? The first step is not really like a complete one. If it's starting born with a complete one, then what we do practice. Like if it's only do practice the higher level, it's kind of like you saying it comes with a bone, you know. No, it is like a build it up step by step. This is the we need to know. Okay. And then a summary. The recollection and cultivations of the spirit of enlightenment. The basis, again, he's repeating here, is important part, as we say, 6 perfections. As I say, the generosity practice is turned into the perfection of generosity practice is needed bodhicitta and the realization of emptiness, and then as well dedication. Then still I don't remember one. So there are 4 things you needed as a becoming perfections. Now concentration, every single concentration mind is not counted perfections. Let's say the first one here, say the meditative establishments, meditative stabilization that stabilizes the body and mind in bliss within this present life. It's not necessary that meditative stabilization is perfection of it. It's not necessary perfections, right? Even the second one, who brings good quality, is not necessarily perfections. So therefore, meditative stabilizations and perfection of meditative stabilization is 2 different. So here we are talking perfection of meditative stabilization. Therefore, the basis always has to be bodhicitta. You have to be achieved bodhicitta. But you are some kind of close there. So it's becoming perfection has to be achieved bodhicitta. That practice actually start from accumulation path. That's because of achievement. But before that has to be a lot of process to training to get this all. Even you are not have a perfection of generosity practice, but you have to start from here to get there to all this process you need to go. And once you achieve bodhicitta, then you have one basis to becoming its perfections. And after that, when you realize emptiness, even inferentially, then you are qualified to becoming that generosity practice as a perfection of generosity practice.
You said inferentially?
Inferentially.
Okay.
Yeah, cognitively. Okay.
Wait. What does it mean?
Inferentially.
Wisdom inferentially.
Cognitively.
Cognitive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then where is it? The basis of the Bodhisattvas deed is what inspire you to train in order to set all living beings in uncontaminated meditative stabilizations. After you have increased the stabilization of the spirit, aspire to the high meditative stabilization and train in this. Even if you are unable to fully develop the meditative stabilization, which is high levels are, so this is again, each professions are repeating same way. So even let's say if you are unable to fully develop the meditative stabilization, which is talking about high levels are, you must strive to train from time to time in one pointed concentration to whatever extent you are able. For if you do not do so, you will be continuously stained with their fault of breaking the precept. And in other living as other lives as well, you will find it most difficult to learn the training for entering the many doors of the Bodhisattva's meditative stabilizations. These are the same. I just way beginning long time ago. I'm just keep talking to Judy. As you are thinking that you are not enough wisdom, that should encourage you to. I do not have enough wisdom. I do not know that much. Knowing that, make it encourage to you. If I don't know this much this lifetime, how come it? Because my previous life do not have a good imprint to me to understand easy this and that. Still, I'm like discouraging myself. I cannot do it, or I'm not do it. Then your next life will be getting more worse, more difficult and more difficult, right? So therefore, seeing as you are not really qualified, that makes encourage to you. This is the life, is opportunity. My previous life not really makes me, it gives me the one of the blessed life, but it's not gives me qualified life. But I should bring my continuum next life will be more qualified than this life. So I should study whatever, no matter, right? No matter I should more study, no matter I should more meditate it, no matter I should more practice. That's whatever you found your weakness, challenging it as like a turn into the encourage to you, right? So that weakness, it's possible that weakness is not always remaining as a weakness, right? So that's just the practitioner, we call it. When you're challenging with the weakness, that's a practitioner. This is a practice. Otherwise, you are just keeping your weakness as always as the same. And other side, you try to doing practice, never connected with your weakness or never challenging with it. So, and then why you do practice? That's another question, right? That's therefore always, find it out. Whenever you find it out, the weakness, challenging it, try to overcome by it. Even this lifetime, at least you cannot overcome by this lifetime, definitely next lifetime, because whatever you study it is not going to waste it. That's like what you collected money this lifetime. You collected money this lifetime, it will waste after you die, right? You cannot. But your virtues, your like a good imprints that you're carrying it, it not waste. That's how I'm saying it, right? It is not the international bank. It's like a better bank. Okay. Therefore, it says like if you do not do training, then it will getting more worse. Training for entering the many doors, the Bodhisattva's meditative research. Whereas if you never give up your effort, even in this life, your mind will become steadily less distracted, right? Less distracted, making your accomplishments, accumulations of virtues very powerful in future lives, as the questions of Subhao Sutra. Question of Subhao Sutra, it says, if you cultivate bodhicitta continues, if you cultivate this and this continues, will like a lot of benefit have next lifetime, this and that, this and that, this and that. Because bodhicitta is always associated with every single beings. So that much you will have benefit. You know, that's each preparation is repeating the Subhao Sutra. It says, you will have physical and mental blessed and joyful mind. There be easily completing the perfection of meditative stabilizations. I will not elaborate further here, here as I will be explained. This is at the length in the meditative serenity sections. Okay, this is good now. Okay, that train to the perfection of wisdom, we're going to start next time. And then not really go with the detail because it comes again. But whatever we need to explain here, need to understand clear. Okay. Yeah. Now, so we briefly mentioned what is meditative stabilizations. Try to understand which kind of mind and what is different than this mind and that mind. So after that, we try to understand how we practice, cultivate it, and that Lama Tsongkhapa say, okay, I will explain more at the time. And after that, how many different ways they're divided that meditative stabilizations. Meditative stabilization, if you use it, meditative stabilizations, then it's become more a basis of quality, good quality. If you do not use it, the meditative stabilization, it not become a basis of good quality. It just have some kind of blissful in this lifetime that will be ended. That's all. So therefore, understanding that devotions are divided let us understand that once I achieve meditative, what called stabilizations, the main goal is you have to use it to build it up all this good quality. I need to get it this all padan bhumis, and then welcome to others. This two for this getting this point things. Therefore, we are practicing or generating shamatha or meditative stabilizations, right? Mind. So just for blessing in this lifetime, then you don't really, is like not meaningful. Therefore, devotion divided will let us understand that kind of things. And then continuously talks like how to do practice with the 6 supremacies and 6 perfections. And then summaries, right? Okay. Do you find any question on that?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I understood you. Were you saying that if you have an interest in worldly things, you don't have real compassion, or you can't have compassion? Did I misunderstand it?
Oh, I mean, like if you are distracted by worldly activities, very much distracted, then you will you cannot have compassion, because compassion also need to build it up with not exactly single pointed mind, where you said it not necessary. If you have a single pointed mind, it will be faster and better achieved compassion, but at least similarly concentration mind, very much less, need to be calm mind to get inner quality. So therefore, it's too much distraction, then it's empathy, it's not compassion.
So worldly things in this sense kind of goes with contrived mental stabilization, or even compassion, because it's something that you have to kind of if you're focusing on worldly things in your meditation, you are by your very nature constructing
how give me an example how you focusing on worldly things with the concentrations.
If you're
do you remember that when I said you are revenging and focusing on enemy to how to do, we are not counted concentrations. You are desire and attaching someone, and then you keep thinking we are not counted. Even you are single pointed, not counted concentrations. So then how you can concentrate with worldly?
So I'm kind of getting at the meaning of worldly things here.
Okay.
All right. So worldly things does not necessarily mean that you are. It first refers to attachment. It refers to seeking to achieve worldly things through this concentration, as opposed to a pure cultivation of the quality that is independent of the attachment or grasp.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I understand. Yeah.
That's enough for me.
Okay. Okay. Any other question? Uh-huh.
It's not really, I guess it's a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Don't
not
worry.
I'm not sure what we're talking about now when we're talking about compassion. I mean, I thought that compassion was, if somebody has problems, many problems, and
What kind of problem?
well, if
Like say
they're
illness,
people,
right?
no,
Poor.
illness or yeah, poor. But I was thinking like even if a person is angry or is always expressing frustration, desire, jealousy, just all these qualities that we don't necessarily want. And if this person is just full of that, so rather than to push this person away, I mean, if it's a friend, especially, somebody who's known for many years, having compassion.
Westerner compassion, yes.
Yeah.
Westerner compassion, yes.
That is compassion.
Not the Buddhism compassion.
Not Buddhism.
No, Westerner compassion, yes.
Westerner.
Yes.
Did I miss something somewhere along the line?
Yeah, as I said it, as you're looking more problem, right? Who do not have a problem in this world? As we are, as we are samsaric being, who do not have a problem? As well, thinking that, do you have a same feeling, same wish for every single being equally, as like your brother, as like your children, as your like a husband? Do you have it?
That's where the effort comes in. That's where I make
effort, as well as effort putting is contracted. When you're putting effort, it's contracted, but it's good things. It's good thing. Then you have to know that it is kind of like a good process. You are getting something there, but not achieved yet. It's an uncontrived. No need of effort.
Okay. We're just learning that. But I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, it's good to learning time by time and understanding time by time. That's how we need to do it. Okay.
Karma asks, what is the difference between ordinary magic and magic that can be achieved when one attains higher bhumis, leaving aside the function or the result like entertainment by an ordinary magician and helping others like an Arya or a Buddha?
Ordinary magician, I think, I don't know. Let's say, easy, simple way to understand. If ordinary being can turn like a one tree to golden, right? Then Arya being can turn one tree to 10 golden. And then higher levels are one tree can turn into the 1,000 golden. This is there are levels of magicians.
But magicians just entertain anyways. They
Entertaining?
I would think if you became an Arya and you had these powers, you would do it to help somebody.
You help somebody. That's true. Yeah, it is it's not really a magician. You have to make different. We call Zutul. Zutul is not that magician which we understand. This magician could be tricky things. Magician could be some kind of like a different of tricky, right? But anyhow, so let's say like a turning color to like say example, there are no bridge, then they turn kind of bridge there. So that kind of magician, it's not really entertaining, right? It's helping to cross the mountain or cross the lake to putting their bridge.
You're talking about an ordinary magician?
I'm not saying ordinary.
Oh.
So
magician, yeah.
I don't think Kamala ordinary means is really ordinary magician ordinary or just practitioner, like accumulation path, preparation path. What he's saying, the magician
He's
means.
making a difference between like a normal magician, like one that we might see, like what you said, who does like a trick or something.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, normal magician. If this mean, I didn't take that one because I thought like it's some kind of mentan and unmeant superman, and this I goes with it. So it's really normal magician, which is entertainment things. It's got to be trick and yeah, and then the Arya beings are it's more welfare to others. You know, like say. Chandrakirti was administrator of the Nalanda monastery at the time, and his time as some kind of mugi.
Alchemy,
Alchemy means
to turn something into gold.
no. Mugi. Mugi means like what's say in English?
Center fielder for the Mets.
You can guess it. You can guess it. You can guess it. So, Kamala, mugi thebla mugi dikhara.
Starvation, lack of
La.
food. Lack of food, starvation.
Oh,
What's it called?
lack of starvation, like
Starvations. Okay. So at the time, the monks do not have enough eat food because the wars were happening at the country. And then what Chandrakirti did, like they draw the cow and milk from drawing cow. It's kind of that's kind of magicians we which help work with others.
Would this be kind of like, if you look at the gospel of where Jesus, he's doing a sermon on the mount, is it, or he goes ahead and turns a loaf of bread into, they can feed thousands.
Yeah. I think we can say these kind of things. Yeah. Also, I heard that Sai Baba, he's passed away. Whoever goes to see him, he giving, just taking in the space some gold and giving like this. As I heard it, I don't know how. Some are say it's tricky, whatever. That really counted magician to well for other or not? I don't know.
People who go to see his remains.
No, people who saw him before.
Mm-hmm. See, I understand.
Despite not having a poker face.
Yeah, I think the Bodhisattvas are, it's a very magic, what you call unconditional. They are not seeking anything. I'm not looking, the Bodhisattvas are not looking big group. Bodhisattvas not looking many friends and followers. Bodhisattvas not looking many Buddhists, right? Only wants to free from suffering. That's the eternal music. So the magic tricky, it's something kind of like a expression with whatever. It's not the. This is the you can see like a unconditional and conditional magic between the ordinary, the normal magic, and Bodhisattva's magic. Yeah.
What would we call, like what happened with the 1,000 miracle Buddhas? Is that like magic too?
1,000 miracle Buddha. What's this miracle Buddha?
1,000 miracle. You know that thing that we celebrate sometimes where
It's 1,000 Buddhas of misfortune.
they were invited to something and they did all this show.
No. This is not say 1,000 miracle day. In the miracle Buddha, we are celebrating 1,000 Buddha prayer on a Buddha miracle day.
Okay, so
You two come mix it in your mind.
but you know the day I'm talking about, like there was
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of stuff. What would you call that? Would you say
1,000 Buddha
that,
prayer.
would you say that was magic, or would you say that was
Oh, you mean the Buddha miracle day?
yeah?
That's called magic, yeah.
And
You
was
understand?
it for benefit?
Yeah, benefit to attempt the that 6 main leader of that the kind of yeah, Buddha was challenging with the 6 main leaders in India, right? To tempt their mind.
Tame your mind.
Yeah.
And so there was a benefit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was-
Okay.
Geshe, can I ask one more quick
Mhm.
question?
So Buddhist compassion,
Mm-hmm.
is it connected with equanimity?
Should be.
Uncontrived.
Buddha do not have any contriving things.
But it's
Whatever
not-
have a Buddha's quality, always, every single qualities are uncontrived.
Okay. And the real compassion is we have to feel that way towards everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then we can stop here. Shi Bögi Chushi Meto Ri Rab Ling Shi Ninde Genba Sangye Shingdu Mingde Uwai Chobu Namda Shingna Chobar Sho Idama Guru Ratna Mindelaga Niryadaya. By this virtue, may all being perfect the accumulation of merit and wisdom, and achieve the two holy bodies that arise from merit and wisdom. Okay?